Chevrolet GMC Studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. The Husker After Party Postgame Show is brought to you by Southeast Community College and Street Drive-In, Lincoln Federal Savings Bank. Now, here is your host, Connor Happer.
Oh boy, not much of a party today in Lincoln once again. Welcome into the Husker After Party Postgame Show / The Ticket Postgame. He is DP. I am Jake Sorensen. We are live at Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Every week, every single week, Nebraska finds another incredible way to lose a football game. Unless you're playing Northwestern, DP. Of course, that was a nice route a couple weeks ago. But today, Nebraska has a very poor first half, trailing 21-9. They have good halftime adjustments. They score a touchdown after an interception by Cam Taylor-Britt. They go down the field and score, make it a 5-point game. Get another interception. They go down and get down to the 1-yard line where they're stopped there. Jaquez Yant on 4th and goal is stopped short. Later on, a 27-yard field goal is missed by Nebraska, where the defense has been great the whole second half. And then a safety is taken by Nebraska to make it a 7-point deficit. Minnesota scores. Nebraska gets a late touchdown, no onside kick recovered. And here we are. The Huskers are 30-23 losers, 3-5 on the season after a loss in Minneapolis. We will take your phone calls all show long and text 402-464-5685. We're frustrated. You're frustrated. DP, I don't have any. I laid out what happened, and I think with most programs, they'd be shocked at how this happens, but it just seems like it's the same story where they find incredible ways to lose when it looks like a victory is theirs for the taking.
Okay, couple of things. Rules of engagement.
All right.
Rules of engagement for this. Only truth can be told. So give me facts.
Okay.
Mean what you say. And then let's have a conversation rather than it being just a yell fest.
Uh-huh.
I know for therapy's sake, folks need to vent.
They do.
I'll ask you to vent in a way that is productive and that can be airable because now the FCC is listening.
Uh-huh.
So let's – right? So
they're listening intently.
We got to make sure that we handle business appropriately. And remember my phrase that I use in conversation. Do I have your permission to tell you the truth?
Yes, you do.
Okay. So once we start there, we can get busy.
Uh-huh.
All week long, we said a couple of things had to happen for this team to do well. First on the list was that Scott Frost could not be outcoached today. That was tops on the list, that Scott Frost could not be outcoached by PJ Fleck today. Second, we said execution was the thing. Third, we said schematically, Minnesota is a nightmare for Nebraska, both offensively and defensively. And finally, we said that Nebraska had to take advantage of three things that we knew to be true about Minnesota's defense. One, they cannot cover the fade route. They didn't use it until the very last offensive play. Second of all, option to the wide side of the field, not short side. All those things in place. Simple. And then take advantage of the tight ends behind the linebackers for Minnesota. I can't tell you this enough. They are who they are until they're not. And I'm going to call them a 3-5 team because that's what they are. Do they have more talent than that? Yes. Did they battle? Yes. Scrappy, feisty, all the things you want to call them. But no, my friends, this isn't good enough. This isn't good enough because you're being stubborn and you cannot change or improve being stubborn. To think that you have the answers right from the get-go at 3-4 tells me that you aren't paying attention. If you came in 6-1 and told me you knew everything, cool, I'm with you. 5-1, cool. You came in 3-4 and you did exactly what you have been prone to do, and you have made the same mistakes. The special teams jumped up and bit you on the ankle again, right? Same situation. Defensively, you wore down. I'm not sure why on the biggest defensive play of the entire game, your defensive captain, your black shirt captain, is not on the field. Tell me again how Brody Belt. Look, I'm glad a local kid gets a start. But why in good heavens, man? This is Big Ten football. This is Big Ten football. So, look, none of it was good enough. I can exhale now.
Yeah.
I got it out. I feel better. I didn't punch anything. I didn't kick out the toes of my shoe. Matt Abdelmassi didn't grab the microphone. So, and I'll warn y'all. I'll warn y'all. If Matt Abdelmassi gets the microphone, it's a wrap. Like, we can just shut it down for 2 hours and let Abdelmassi. Yeah, we'll let Abdelmassi do his thing. So, Nick, if you would, kind sir, would you go to the Honda Lincoln hotline and tell me who is there?
Absolutely. So first up, we have Jason on the Honda Lincoln hotline.
Jason, give it to me, brother.
DP.
Give it to me, man.
Yeah, I'm just glad we're more talented than they are. Sorry, I'm breaking your rule right out of the gate, DP, being sarcastic, but
that's okay.
I'm sorry about that. We plan on beating the Purdue's and the Minnesotas. We do this year after year, the Illinois, and then the coaches get out coached. And I know they're trying, and it's been a tough week for this coaching staff, guys. I wonder if Scott Frost made $1 million a year, maybe he'd be a little more hungry. But then I look back, we played Oklahoma, we played Michigan well. So I know they're capable, and the coaching staff is not inept. But, man, it was getting hard. It was just getting really hard. I think I'm more frustrated about this game than any game in recent years.
Uh-huh.
And that's hard to pass up. Like, I was really frustrated last year when Minnesota beat us, but I just kind of planned on them beating us. But no, we're going to beat Minnesota, 31-16 or all week. Everybody, Nebraska. Every media person in the state, almost. PJ Fleck. Oh, yeah, Nebraska fans, we make jokes about PJ Fleck. We hate Texas. We need to start worrying about ourselves. Nebraska fans and their inferiority complex to Texas, the most underachieving major sports program in American sports, with the talent base, with the recruiting base, with the weather, with the population. And we spend our time still to this day whining about Texas and how we hate them. Oh, we hate PJ Fleck. Yeah, he's rolling the boat. We hate that. How about we sit back and respect PJ Fleck? Because he regularly pushes us around at home. He pushes us around on the road. They pull rank on us. We used to be the team that handed out the woodsheddings around here. And we didn't always win. We lost several bowl games in a row, and we had to do some recalibrating. But now we're the ones that get pushed around regularly. And to wrap it up, the Bo Pelini area, I was ready for Bo to be gone because we constantly got absolutely destroyed in huge, high-profile games. Well, now we can't even out-physical the Illinois and the Minnesotas of the world. So I don't know what to think. I'm so sick of this junk. And I know there's good kids, the J.J. Dolmans and all these guys, and the coaches are trying, but man, it is just getting frustrating, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Jason,
that's fair.
It is. I don't even know what to say. There's just so much frustration because Nebraska fans feel like they have a product that's close, right? You watch the football field. You see a program that pushed the likes of Michigan to the brink. They pushed Michigan State to the brink. They pushed Oklahoma to the brink. I know it's hard to win a road game. It's hard to win a Big Ten football game. It's hard to win on the road. But
it's not hard to win on the road in the Big Ten when you do what you're supposed to do.
And they did for a good part of the third quarter. Nebraska was down 21-9 at halftime. They had a rough first half defensively. Offense didn't do enough, and they were down by 12. But for the second straight week, DP, they made good halftime adjustments. And you go down and score after the pick, like I mentioned, and then they have another chance to go down and score again and take the lead. And they don't score. And then you have a chance, again, to get a field goal. And you don't kick it, or you don't make it.
There's a lot to unwrap.
There's so many things to unwrap.
A lot to unwrap and unwind. I want to go to some of what we've talked about. First of all, we want to thank the folks here at Tanner's for having us down and letting us come post up. They've got specials going on. We're also going to give away a Nebraska Heisman Trophy winner signed jersey, signed by all three Husker Heisman winners. All you have to do is come down to Tanner's, put your name in the box, and we'll give it away at the end of this postgame show. That's all you have to
That's all you
do.
got to do.
Come down to Tanner's, put your name in the box, and at the end of this trip, we will give away this jersey. So somebody here at Tanner's will walk out with a signed Husker jersey. Pretty simple. If you're already in the building, come on up, get your name in the box, and we'll take care of that. Let me also say this.
Okay.
The coaching rule is this. If your team is constantly beat in blowouts, it's the players. If the team is constantly beat by single scores, it's coaching. It's coaching. That's the rule in football. That's how that works. Simplicity. So now we need to look at that and see, did the coaching staff do the things that were going to help them win a close Big Ten game? If the answer is continually no, then to either steadfast or get better requires that you say what that thing is. This is a 3-5 team. They got 2 weeks to recover, heal up, reassess. I don't know what they're going to do on Monday, but my goodness gracious, you've got 2 weeks till Purdue and then Ohio State and then Wisconsin and then Iowa. And I'm just telling you, you can't tiptoe in the Big Ten.
Nope.
If you have a flaw, people will take advantage of it. If you're mistake prone, people will expose it. You have the opportunity to get right. And as I said a week ago, I wouldn't be surprised if this team won all of the rest of its next 4 games. I also would not be surprised if they lost the last 4 games.
Well,
that's a statement.
We hope that's not the case. Again, Nebraska drops to Minnesota 30-23. We'll take your calls 402-464-5685 on the Husker After Party /Ticket Postgame Show live from Tanner's, sponsored by Action Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, Vinnie Creek, Haggard State Farm Insurance, Southeast Community College, and N Street Drive-In. Okay, so a couple things. You mentioned right there, DP, a little bit ago that when you are losing by several scores, that might be on the players. When it's close, it's coaching. I'd ask you this, though. When Nebraska is trailing by 5, it's 4th and goal. We had thought Martinez had scored the previous play. On 3rd and goal, he got stuffed at the 1-foot line. It looked like he got across. They reviewed it. It said he was short. Did you just like the play call for Jacques Caziant the next play? Of course, he trips on his own foot and stops short. It looked like he was going to score in the play, but that was a moment of maybe poor luck. What were your thoughts there? Is that playing or coaches there?
Here's what's funny. An athletic director once asked me to describe a good call or a bad call. And the answer is simple. Did it work? Yep. I'm coached to get it to work. Like, I'm coaching either to put the right people in place, I'm coaching the technique that's required for this thing, and I'm going to ensure that the right people are execute that play. If it didn't work, it was the wrong call. Like, that's how simple this is. Now, we know that a weakness in this Minnesota defense is the option play. How about that? How about getting Adrian Martinez under center so he can just take the snap and bulldoze behind Cam Jurgens? How about you run your fade route to your 6'8", 6'8.5" tight end?
Right.
How about you do like anything that you other than what you did? And I still don't understand how this team gets in short yardage week after week after week and do not have an answer for how to get 2 yards. It's mind-boggling to me. In the Big Ten is 3rd and short conference. That's how champions are determined.
Yep.
Like, people get caught up in the sexiness of having skill position guys on the outside who can fly and have wings. But the reality is Big Ten champions are really good at 3rd and 2. They're exceptionally good at 4th and 1. This team is not.
Let's get a couple phone calls. We've got John. John, you're on the Husker After Party Post-Game Show. Go ahead, man.
Oh, guys. How's it going? And let's give props to Austin Allen. Finally.
Yes.
They're hitting him. He had a great game. Now, 4th and 1 from the 1-inch line, and you go shotgun? Seriously? Shotgun. No, you put Martinez under center and you bulldoze. The defense, I didn't think played quite as well today. as they had been, but they played well enough until that last run. I don't know what's going on with this team. We should have beaten Minnesota. We were better. I don't get it. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what Scott Frost is doing. Shenander, I give a pass because what happened to him this week. I get it, but they still have to go out and execute a game plan. I don't know what they did in the first half. Minnesota was determined to not have Adrian Beatis run on the ball, and he didn't. So then you need to find other avenues of moving the ball. And we did that, but we didn't do it consistently enough. Unless we had big plays, we could not sustain drives to go down the field. I don't get it. I don't understand it. They got to fix something, or we're not going to win a game the rest of the year. So I got, guys.
Thanks for the call, John. Appreciate that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying before the call. Having an understanding of who you are. We've talked about identity. What are the plays that Nebraska runs well offensively? In every offensive playbook, there are plays where you understand third and short, this is money. Granted, you had your fourth or fifth running back in the game, which would be an excuse other than the fact that you watch Minnesota's third, fourth, and fifth running backs run up and down field all day. So that wasn't an excuse. We bounced backwards in the offensive line play. We took a huge step back. Personnel on the field, we took another step back. Somebody needs to explain to me how Brody Belt started. Explain to me what Big Ten. Hold on, is what? Like the halftime highlights were the kicker made a 50-yard field goal. Let's not forget what else he did, and then Belt start and Cam Taylor-Britt's sack. That was it. So it didn't take a lot for you to step up in the second half because you didn't do anything in the first half.
No, but kudos. They had a nice start to the second half. They did. They got an interception. Cam Taylor-Britt, nice pick.
I'm not interested in your the starts and all the fluffiness. I just don't understand how you consistently can't finish games. And it is the most difficult thing in all of sports is to finish games. Like no matter what the sport is, that's how it works. But here's the thing. You got to figure it out.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get easier. Now you got to stare. You got 2 weeks of a vacuum. Guess what you put in the vacuum? Poop. Poop's in the vacuum, and you're going to have to deal with it for 2 weeks.
Well, I just wonder, too, I think you're 5-17 in one-score games with Scott Frost. They scored the touchdown to make it a 7-point game at the very end. 5-17. As a team, when it gets close, don't you start asking how does it unravel now? I know it's a poor mentality, but when so many strange things have happened, like, you get the ball back down 5, and the very first play, you go back 10 yards, and you have intentional grounding in the end zone, and it's a safety, and all of a sudden, here we go again.
You are who you are.
What goes through the team's head, though? What goes through their heads?
Well, it has to be this thing. My rule as a coach is to never have my players look to the sideline and go, what in the world is he doing? I want them to have confidence in what I send in and what I call. It appears to me that on a regular basis, this team doesn't have emergency resources to go to. They don't have a plan to go through. Like, have something in your playbook that can get you 4th and 1, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. Those are winnables. You shouldn't lose games where it comes down to 4th and 1 and 3rd and 3. It shouldn't happen. So, again, you got 2 weeks to make whatever changes, to heal up, to figure out who your guys are. All of that's in play. But my goodness gracious, it's time. You're 3-5. That is not that doesn't seem like it's what you intended to happen this season.
Let's get some more calls. Again, 464-5685. Call or text the show as always. We've got Paul up next. Paul, you're on the after party. Go ahead.
Hey, guys. I wish it was a little better news, but, I don't know. There's some today I kind of just finally realized. I think Scott Frost is like a toxic ex-girlfriend, and I'm just ready to dump her. I'm not going to let her, break my heart anymore and make me feel bad because I always get excited. And he just, I don't know. I don't know what else we need to see out of him. That we're in year 4. We still don't have special teams. Our offensive linemen are still false starting in critical times. Play calling is at best questionable. I feel bad for our players because it feels like they're out there pouring their hearts out, and I think you guys were just pointing out that the coaching staff is more or less letting them down because, like you said, the team looks over there and says, "Look, what are we doing here?" When a TV announcer more or less says your head coach is not doing the fundamentals, I think that's them saying that the coach isn't very good. And my last thing, and I love Martinez, but I don't feel like he's anything much more than the Tommy Armstrong that can throw the ball better. Because that man, he'll come out one series and blow you away. And then the next time you're just looking at him going, what are you looking at? What are you thinking? And maybe that's part of coaching. I don't know. But, I don't know. Frost is just, he's in some hot water right now. Because how do you not get our players ready for this game? It's a must win. How do you go to Minnesota and not be ready? And they didn't look ready. I don't know. I'll keep listening to you guys, and hopefully you got some good stuff to say. Thanks.
Thanks for the call, Paul. Well, I don't want to give any excuses at all, okay? I'm not in this for excuse-making, DP. We talked about in the pregame show and Thursday, Friday, how there was obviously a tragedy in the family of Eric Shenander.
Right.
And you and I thought in pregame that maybe the defense would play hard for him. They had a rough first half. They played great in the second half, except for the bad bust at the end. They allowed it to be a 14-point game.
Right.
And but they played really, really, really well in the they had 2 interceptions back to back in the third quarter. A rough first half, but yeah, I mean it was pretty discouraging to watch them start the game and go -1 yards the first drive, 3 plays and out. -1. Minnesota has an 8-minute drive and scores there a touchdown. You get a field goal your next drive, but then they're up by 12 at halftime. I mean that is discouraging. But the same thing happened against Michigan where you're down 13.5 and all of a sudden you're leading at the end of the third quarter. You were right there in this game. But, yeah, we've talked about the importance year after year of this team getting off to better starts. Stop digging yourself a hole.
But did you fix what was wrong? Did you fix what was broken? Remember, you had place kicking as a priority.
Right. Uh-huh.
You had 0 false starts as a priority, right? You didn't turn the ball over, but that missed kick, those are turnovers.
Yep, it is.
Through all of that, did miss blocks? Did we handle that? No, we didn't fix that. Do we have our route combinations together? No, there were still miscommunications, even with a veteran quarterback starting for you. At some point, you have to fix what's broken, and then you have to improve on the things that you are not good enough at. It seems like you fix one thing one week and then it's broken again the next. Now, there were some good things today, so we'll go through. They just released the post-game notes,
okay.
So I'll go through a few of these, right?
Okay.
The bad news, there's good, bad, and ugly in this, so prepare yourself.
All right.
Minnesota victory was the 3rd straight for Minnesota in the series.
That's painful.
And now the Gophers have a 6-5 edge since they joined the Big Ten.
Not good.
Nebraska passed for 241 yards. They've been over 200 yards for all eight games this season. That's a pretty good streak. Austin Allen had 5 catches for 121 yards.
Excellent game.
His previous career high was 61 against Fordham earlier this year. He's also the first tight end to have 100 yards receiving in a game since Tyler Hobbs had 5 catches at Purdue in 2017. With 5 catches, Allen's career reception moves up to 51. He's 10th in tight end history here at Nebraska with 50 career catches. It's also the first time since 2007 where they had 4 different players having 100-yard receiving games in the same season.
Okay.
Ramir Johnson, 11 for 83 with 2 touchdowns before his injury. Better than his previous high of 76 against Michigan State. He was trending in the right direction. Adrian Martinez accounted for 224 yards on total offense, ending his school record streak with at least 200 yards of total offense. There was some good news in the day, just not enough.
Yeah, it wasn't, and we'll get some calls here in a second. It wasn't Adrian's best day. He at one point was 6 for 16 passing. Then, like you said in the notes there, DP, he finally got Austin Allen the ball more. We have been begging for that as a station collectively, not just this year, but for multiple years, to make that a priority on offense. I know you like the receivers more than the past years at Nebraska, but you still have a guy that is 6'8", 6'9", can run, can pull away from some guys to make some catches, and they got him the ball. And we saw the touchdown at the very end, a fade. You had said that Minnesota can't stop the fade. And they wait till the very last drive with a minute 10 to go to throw the pass, which was obviously complete.
It's just frustrating. Like, the film is out there. I mean, you can literally go back and watch entire games of Minnesota as they are currently. That information is available to you if you so choose to do it. And the things that were obvious, things that if you're looking for a Minnesota tendency, those tendencies we've been talking about it all week. All week. Oh, Xavier Betts on the Jets. We get him the ball early. Let's see what happens. You had gone into the game 2 of 3 for explosive, or 3 of 4 for explosive plays. You run it and then you shut it down again. Tight ends across the middle. We said before the game, this was a way to attack Minnesota's defense.
Right.
Why wait until you're down 2 scores to do that?
Doesn't make sense.
I don't understand. And then the other part of this thing, at some point, this offensive line has got to get it together. They've got to get it together. And then on the final side of this thing, listen, Adrian had a horrible drive, 2 bad drives to end the Michigan game. He was not good, Adrian Martinez today.
Nope.
He battled, but guess what? Plays weren't made when they were there. I want to know what the plan of attack was. Were they intending to attack Minnesota in their soft underbelly? Because it didn't seem so. It didn't look that way. So there's a lot of it, right? There's a lot of it.
This is like last year, DP, though. They're missing 34 guys last year in Nebraska. They couldn't stop the run. They chose not to make that the game plan. And this year, again, they didn't attack the weaknesses enough in Minnesota, and they lose the football game, 30-23. We'll take some more calls. Next up on the Honda of Lincoln hotline, we have Matthew. Matthew, you're on the Husker After Party post-game show. Go ahead.
Guys, come on. It's a beautiful day in Lincoln, Nebraska. The sun's going to come up. I'll bet we have a beautiful sunset. I would really like to thank Steve Peterson and Bill Callahan, to Mike Riley, to Scott Frost for giving me my weekends back. I'm getting so much done. My gutters are clean. I'm keeping up with the – hell, I'm thinking about finishing the basement off, even putting on an addition in the back of the house.
Oh, boy.
Thank you so much. Call me when you get things figured out.
Yeah,
all right, Matthew. Thank you.
There's a lot of church to that. There's a lot of gospel to that, right? Like I'll give some more good news. Just more good news. Little things to try to ease the pain.
All right.
Martinez completed 18 passes today, giving him 617 career completions. He's the second Husker with 600 completions and is 8 completions shy of Tommy Armstrong's career record of 625. So in 2 weeks, he will break that record, all things considered. Cam Taylor-Britt, 12-yard sack in the second quarter, his first sack in the past 2 seasons. There were some good things that happened. There just weren't enough when they were needed, how they were needed.
Yep, that is true. We've got Jake up next. Jake, you're on the Husker After Party post-game show. Go ahead.
Hey, guys. How you doing? Thanks for getting me on here. But
sure.
Usually I've called and talked to guys, I was mad about the players, blah, blah, blah. But, I'm done going at those guys because it's obviously to me now we're this far into it. And I think it's time to start looking at coaches and saying, hey, what is going on here? Where's our recruiting on a kicker for once? And why is this kid not on the bench? Secondly, where I'm very disappointed with Scott Frost is, and of all men, coach under Tom Osborne, I-formation power football was our name and our game. Put us on the map. And when you're on the 4-inch line, you're going to tell me Nebraska is not going to go under center and punch that damn thing into the end zone? To me, that's embarrassing. We've lost our identity. We need to get it back. And by going into shotgun, I'm sorry, Matt Lubick, you can bring your ass back to Fort Collins, go back to credit union.
All right, Jake.
All right. Thank you for the call.
I don't like existing in a space where there's nothing good to talk about. But we're telling truths now, and we're asking for truth in stories. So 3 and 5 says we're not satisfied with where they are, right?
Yep.
Big mission, long-term mission was 6 wins and a bowl game.
Sure.
Are we on pace for 6 wins and a bowl game?
No. Right now you're 3 and 5, and you have games left, DP, against a top 10 team, Ohio State, on your home field, and the current number 2 team in the nation, Iowa, on your home field. But there's still top 5 teams. And you've got to win one of those for sure and beat Purdue and Wisconsin to get to a bowl game. So, no, you are not right now.
What was the last
on
time
track.
they beat Nebraska?
Wisconsin?
Yeah.
2012. They've lost 8 straight games to Wisconsin.
Wow.
They've lost 6 straight to Iowa.
Wow. That's pretty remarkable.
So you got to win one of those games.
Wow.
Or to for sure get to a bowl game.
Wow.
And they still have this whole APR thing. If they go 5 and 7, you maybe can get to a bowl game.
If they go 5 and 7, they better not go
fans
to a
don't
bowl
want
game.
that. That happened in 2015 where they made the
they
bowl
go
game.
5
They
and
won
7,
it.
they better. Jake, come on, man.
What?
Come on.
In 2015, they did it, and it was like the fans were like, "I feel pretty greasy going to this game
I need a
because we don't
shower.
deserve it."
I need a shower. I need a shower. I need to wash
But,
that off. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, we got a couple more calls before we get to our first break. Let's see. Up next, we have Stevie. Stevie, you're on the Husker After Party postgame show. Go ahead.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. Thank the station for letting people get on the vent. You know, most stations won't let people do this, but like 95% of them won't. So, you know, people got to have a way to get the pressure after a game like that. We gave another one away. Somebody once said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again. What are we doing when we get down to the 3-yard line? We're in shotgun formation. I've been yelling for 4 years. Get out of shotgun. Get under center. Put some extra blockers back there. Why don't they listen? Why don't they? It's really obvious. You know, we used to run a wedge in high school. You wedge right or you wedge left. You go toe-to-toe. You push them in the end zone. We never got stopped 3 years in high school running the wedge. Another thing is, I know you have to play above the officials. Those officials the last 2 weeks have been a joke. I mean, absolutely. They're missing calls. There was no holding calls in a whole game. It's like, what are they watching? But as far as, you know, another thing is you've got to get on the officials, coaches, you know, a lot of the ones that get the calls are the ones that get in the official's face. When have you ever seen Frost really chew an official out? You've got to get them scared of you a little bit. That's what most good coaches do. They get the officials scared of them, and then you get a few calls. But, you know, another game we let get away, it's just getting to be ridiculous. Thanks, guys.
Thank you for the call. I mean, if you want to get on about not getting mad at officials, I mean, I'd say this. He got pretty pissed last game against Michigan. You remember?
Yeah.
He was on the officials, and he went to the halftime pissed, and he came back with adrenaline and aggressiveness. They had a great third quarter, probably the best quarter of his entire tenure at Nebraska. That 22-point third quarter that lost to Michigan. I mean, I don't know if I view that as a necessity to make the refs respect you or call plays your way, or calls your way.
Well, I mean, I want to know how the game is going to be called, so I know how I'm coaching it.
Understood.
But that understanding is the moment I confront an official about his calls, he then has permission to tell me, "Hey, coach, you might want to coach him better." And that usually stops that conversation because if the scoreboard doesn't say that I'm coaching well, then the officials have the right to say that. Like that's really how that thing is. Yeah, I get all of that. I just want better for the fans. I want better for the players. I can't say that enough. These players bust their humps. They love what they do. They love who they're fighting for. I want better for the players. I want better for the fans. This fan base deserves better than 3 and 5. That doesn't make me a horrible person for saying that. I just don't know what it's going to take to get them over the hump. And most importantly, I'm not sure they know how to get over the hump.
Well, and I just saw some tweets, some quotes from postgame, DP, that JoJo Doman says simply, quote, we keep finding ways to lose. I mean, it's as simple as that.
Well, he goes through. He goes, you can point the blame to a lot of different aspects, but it's on us, the players, the coaches. We're better than that and didn't show it. That should be on the shirt for the 2021 season. We're better than that, and we didn't show it. From their mouths to God, That's what it said.
Okay, we've got next up Lemon. Lemon, you're on the After Party Post Game Show. Go ahead.
Hey, yeah, just a few things. I guess first I have to agree with one thing the last caller said, which is 4th and goal from the 3-inch line. I don't know if there's a single other team in the FBS that doesn't line up under center and just run a quarterback sneak. So that's a coaching problem. And not having a backup kicker, I know the announcers all day were saying Connor Culp was battling an injury. Well, if he's injured, then he shouldn't be playing. We should have a backup kicker to kick point after attempts and field goals. And I just feel like coaching, we gave him credit for keeping close with these teams last few weeks, but you're going to see a lot of mediocre programs that find a way to stay in close games, especially if they're at home. And the fact that we're 4-13 under Scott Frost on the road is a problem because we're never going to be a good team or a team that's fighting to win the West if we are 4-13 on the road. I just feel like Frost, we still don't really know much about him, and I don't want to fire him, but his seat's definitely kind of warm again after this game. And I just feel like a lot of the mistakes we saw today were coaching issues more than anything. And like the announcer said, they're like, Nebraska fans are probably upset right now because the team's driving down the field when they're suddenly doing hurry up offense and throwing the ball. So why aren't we doing that the first 3 quarters of the game? Because why do we have to wait till it's the last 2 minutes to suddenly look like a competent team on offense? But I'll hang up and hear what you guys have to say.
Yeah, I like the idea of picking up the pace, but again, what's the identity pace? What's the thing that best serves Nebraska offense? And when you're being reactive in it and that you're waiting until you're behind to do it, tells me that you don't have faith in it, you don't have belief in it, and you don't feel like you have the players for it. So, yeah, that's something you should be able to do. In this offense, as this offense is being run around the country, pace is important. Jake, it's simple. You could do that if that's what you chose to do. They're choosing not to.
There was another play late in this game, DP, or in the fourth quarter, where Nebraska had a 3rd and 12 at Minnesota's 15-yard line, something like that. They're 16, and they chose to run up the gut, and they got 6 yards, which I think people, maybe disagree or not, but it sounded like they weren't trustworthy of their passing game to get it done, so they're just trying to get some yards, set up a short field goal, which they did not get.
No,
I want to see. Scott Frost always talked about being aggressive when he got here, and obviously he was humbled, but
all
still,
gas, no brakes. Is that
right? And then you see signs where it works, fast pace, and then that kind of stuff. You're like, where's the grit here? It's 3rd and 12. Pass the ball. Try to get a first down or score.
The phrase that comes to mind is this: where's the urgency?
That's the question. Where's the urgency?
Where is the I've said this 100 times on this station. The fact that winning isn't mandatory is as much a problem as the talent level, coaching decisions, or personnel. The ability to sit and say that it doesn't matter if you win today tells me a lot. And remember, we now have 2 weeks to sit and marinate in this thing. And then peep this, Jake. Do you expect him to beat Purdue?
Purdue's about to go score in Iowa. Purdue almost beat Notre Dame this year.
Right.
How can I say yes, even though it's on your home field?
And then once again, we're back in hot seat territory because that becomes must win with Ohio State behind them and a 3-5 record. Look, you build the fire, you feed the fire, you're responsible for the fire.
Yep.
There's a fire.
We got to take a quick break. Keep your calls coming and text 402-464-5685. Again, we're live at Tanner's Bar and Grill, 30th and Yankee Hill for the combination of the Husker After Party postgame show and the Ticket postgame show, sponsored by Tanner's, Action Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, Vinnie Creek, Hack State Farm Insurance, Southeast Community College, and N Street Drive-In. More of your calls next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. I'm a better neighbor because my service has taught me how important it is to be a team player. My training helps me in my classes when I give attention to detail to the task at hand. My service also allows me to be there for my community in ways others can't. I help my hometown recover after nature strikes. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my country and those I care about safe from threats. I also work with a network of professionals that help me succeed. Also, the Army National Guard's education benefits make getting a higher education a reality. Being an Army National Guard soldier makes living and serving in my community more rewarding every day. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Nebraska Army National Guard. Aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association at this station.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
You may be eligible for free 500 megabit internet from Allo if you've been financially impacted during the pandemic or receive federal support. This is Brad Moline, president of Allo Communications, and I'm proud to say that Allo is supporting the FCC's Emergency Broadband Benefit Program. We're committed to providing everyone in our fiber communities access to high-quality internet. To find out more, please stop by our Allo store or go to allofiber.com/EBB.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill has food and drink specials every night for all the games. Enjoy jumbo pork tenderloin for $8.99 and 90-cent wings for Monday Night Football, or come for Thursday Night Football with chicken fried chicken, steak, or pork for just $9.99 and $20 Coors Light aluminum buckets. Watch college football on Saturdays with an Aggie sandwich for $9.99 and Coors Light specials, and catch NFL Sundays with Bloody Marys and more. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air's motto is our family serving yours. That starts with how we hire. We go through an extensive interview process to really get to know you and show you who we are. We want to help you build a great career, be challenged, have fun, and bring home an excellent weekly paycheck. We offer competitive wages with benefits, including a day off for your birthday. Apply to be a part of the John Henry's family at jhlincoln.com. That's jhlincoln.com.
John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
Brokers Insurance Agency is currently hiring full-time and part-time insurance professionals. They will provide you with the training and education to obtain your insurance licenses. Brokers Insurance Agency takes pride in educating clients with the best insurance program to help their clients meet their specific goals. If you're a hard-working, motivated person and would like to discuss a great career opportunity with Brokers Insurance Agency, please call Ken Richards at 402-420-5353 or email service@brokersinsuranceagencyne.com. The team at Brokers Insurance Agency is looking forward to helping you get started with your insurance career.
One host has a red beard and thinning hair. The other also has a red beard and thinning hair. One host got married over the summer. So did the other one. One is a diehard fan of a sub-500 AL Central baseball team. So is the other. Can these two radio hosts do a show together without getting confused as to their own identity? The same couple. Happer and Schaefer. Weekday mornings from 8 to 11 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back to the Husker After Party postgame show. Brought to you by Southeast Community College on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Yeah, when you play a team like this, first of all, if you're ahead, you're in good shape. And the game didn't start very well for us. We had a couple guys open on the first drive and didn't connect and punted to them, and they went down and scored. And so we were playing catch up the whole first half. And, they're going to snap the ball at 2 on the play clock, and you're not going to get a lot of opportunities. So we gotta, as a staff, get them a little more juiced up to play. I didn't think we had quite the same energy, and that's on us. And then we had every opportunity to be in control of the game after the third quarter.
There's Scott Frost in postgame talking with the media after Nebraska's 30-23 loss to Minnesota. Huskers now 3-5 overall, 1-4 in conference play for Nebraska. You're listening to the Husker After Party postgame show live at Tanner's Bar and Grill, 30th and Yankee Hill. I'm Jake Sorensen. He is DP. Keep your phone calls coming at 402-464-5685. The show sponsored by Action Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, Vinny Creek, State Farm Insurance, Tanner's Bar and Grill, Southeast Community College, and N Street Drive-In. All right, DP, that quote right there before we get to some calls is concerning. If you recall, on Thursday, when Scott Frost talks to the media, he said Nebraska was very pumped for this game. There's no worry about a letdown after a rough loss to Michigan. He said they had the team's full attention. They're prepared. You heard the headband say right there in the postgame, maybe not the case this morning. Cam Taylor-Britt also kind of said the same thing at the podium.
I'll read his.
Please read the Cam Taylor-Britt audio.
His quote was, he realized this. He realized when they woke up this morning that the guys weren't up. Says Coach noticed it too.
See, when you're trying to prove, DP, that you're building something and that the loss last week was just to a good team, it was a rough way to lose. You can't come back and be flat. That's why the question was asked on Thursday to Scott Frost as far as, are the guys over that loss? Are they prepared? Or are they still kind of hanging back? He said, no, they're fine.
We're
the headman
fine.
says himself today.
We're fine.
And Cam Taylor-Britt says they're flat in the morning. Again, you had great environments the last 2 weeks at night. You had the fire show, the light show. You had full crowds against Northwestern, which was an awesome football game, a blowout. Michigan was a great football game, national television. A gut punch, a heart wrencher. You can't use the excuse of 11 a.m. being a problem.
Or the fact that you weren't home. You can't carry 90,000 and the laser light show and the fire with you. You can't
Correct
take
me if I'm wrong, DP. Every team plays road games, right?
They all do, and they don't have a problem. Michigan was on the road last week.
They sure were. And I believe they all play 11 a.m. at some point.
I think they do. It's interesting to me. So Adrian Martinez said a couple of things that were said. They talked about Scott Frost, like they felt like they had the right personnel on the field for the goal line. That Minnesota's under center short yardage game has been pretty good, so they felt like staying in shotgun was what was the right thing to do. And then Adrian Martinez says that we felt confident in what we'd called there, and I'm sure we would do it again and have faith in our guys. Look, I'll repeat that. I'm sure we would do it again. We have faith in our guys. So, again, a lot of the thinking is in play. I also recall being told that, they got a week off next week, so we'll empty the tanks. I didn't think he meant before the game. I thought he meant like during the game.
Yeah.
I thought he meant during the game.
Yeah.
That didn't happen.
It's a good comment, DP.
Yeah, I just
don't empty the tank prior to the game.
No, I don't know. Well, they said that they came in empty. They came in flat. And then it's your job as a coach to be able to make that thing move. Make it move. Like, that's your job. So, again, this team is 3-5. They are who they are. I don't expect them to change because I don't think that they want to change or plan to change. Because they said what we did was right. We just didn't do it right.
So how do you respond to that if you're a fan? And we'll get to some calls here in a second. If you're hearing they don't want to change, but what they're doing isn't working, or it's close, but close doesn't count. I mean, we're sick of close. The players, I thought, are sick of close, but are they? I would assume so.
Well, but the players don't have control. I mean, they have the opportunity to make plays, but as we were told, they didn't bring the juice today, which is the thing they control. Energy is the one thing you shouldn't have to coach.
That's right.
This is Big Ten football on national TV. You have the opportunity to show the program. Well, you did. You did. You showed exactly who you are. Like, there's no surprises anymore. Nobody's surprised by anything that happened today. We've seen it before. We've seen everything that happened today before. And I'll give credit. Austin Allen played incredible.
Great. He was awesome.
Ramir Johnson was incredible. I like the battle of Levi Falk, right? He battled, got into space, made plays. Cam Taylor-Britt was battled. After that, like Ty Robinson, a little bit stellar on the box, but it was an exceptional play all the way around. And that's an issue to me. We do have the final numbers.
Okay.
So we can talk about some of the individual stuff before we get to the calls.
Yep.
Ramir Johnson, 11 for 83, 2 touchdowns, right? But Bryce Williams for Minnesota, 17 carries, 127 yards, and a touchdown. On the backside, Tanner Morgan was 20 of 24, 2 TDs, 2 picks. That was, in fact, an Adrian Martinez performance. Adrian Martinez, 18 of 33, 241, 1 TD.
And a crippling safety.
And a safety that's a turnover.
Grounding. Yep.
5 catches for Austin Allen, 121. Levi Falk, 4 for 36. Omar Manning, 3 for 34. Xavier Betts, 2 for 35. Samari Toure had 1 catch today. I'll repeat that. Samari Toure had 1 catch today for 1 yard. When you say that PJ Fleck went in the lab and said, I'm going to take care of the thing that can get me beat.
Yep.
He did that. He took care of it. Adrian Martinez had 5 carries today, 22 yards.
Yeah, and he had chances, too, to run. He just didn't do it.
Look, man, you get in folks' heads, and this is what happens. Now, defensively, JoJo Doman led the way with tackles with 8. Garrett Nelson, Cam Taylor-Britt with 7 plus the pick. Nick Heinrich with 7 tackles. Deontay Williams with 7. Again, nothing exceptional, right? But the 2 picks gave him an opportunity to get into the game. Nothing for it, Jake.
All right, let's get some calls. Again, 402-464-5685. First up has been patiently waiting. We have Greg. Greg, you're on the Husker After Party Postgame Show. Go ahead.
Hey, how you guys taking it after this game?
We're hanging in there, man. We're hanging in there.
I just have a couple things talking about Cam Taylor waking up flat. I mean, how much of that do you think is what happened in the last 24 hours? And then also with Shenander, but also, do we not have a kicker that can, other than Colt, that can kick less than 30-yard field goals?
No.
At all in this roster?
No.
I mean,
we don't.
Go get a high school guy that's kicking soccer right now. He can kick a 30-yard field goal.
The only excuse
But other
is
than
no.
that, but other than that, like I said, I don't know if Osborne and Devaney back in the day sold Nebraska, sold to win all of our national titles, but it seems like the field always costs us games like that. Trip up on Yan, yes, it was a questionable call, but that play was scores right there if he doesn't trip.
Right.
But other than that, that's all I got, guys. Like I said, we'll keep chugging along, stay positive, and go Big Red.
Thanks for the call. All right, let's answer the second question first regarding the kicking situation. All right, so Connor Culp, DP, makes a 50-yard field goal for Nebraska's first points. It was just like the Oklahoma game all over again. He made a long field goal there to start the game. All right, sweet. Good. We're back. And then that same game against Oklahoma, DP misses another kick, misses a couple extra points, has the one.
Two things about that. Whenever Connor Culp runs on the field, I see Rob Schneider from The Waterboy. And I never know which version of Rob Schneider and Waterboy we're going to get. You can do it.
Yep.
Oh, no, we suck again. I never know which version of that's going to happen. And then the other thing is we just found out that Nebraska petitioning to move extra points back 50 yards.
Oh, they are, yeah.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's see if we can make it work from that distance.
Yeah. Okay. Do we want to hear the quote?
Yes, we do.
All right, this is the quote from Cam Taylor-Britt about Nebraska being a little flat before the game today. Go ahead, Nick.
We had to flip the switch and wake up. The whole defense, man, and
I'm not just even talking about myself. I'm talking about everybody on the team, man. Everybody just got to wake up. We've been playing, the night games, and everybody got to sleep in and this and that. I don't feel like everybody was awake and, just ready to play this 11 o'clock game. So coming out the second half, I was just on everybody's head, like, wake up, let's go out here and play our football. And, it showed. Saw when we woke up this morning. That's when I saw even Coach saw it. He called it out, tried to address it, ahead of time. And, hurry up and do it.
The best thing in that was that Coach called it out.
Yep.
Right? Called it out. And that, look, accepting the nonsense has been the biggest part of the problem for me. It's folks too settled in accepting less. And now you got to push the button, and maybe the urgency happens now. Maybe
Going forward?
Maybe this embarrasses folks or upsets folks enough or moves the card enough, moves the needle enough that changes are made. You've got 2 weeks to get a punt returner who can give you positive yardage, kick returner. We can find another kicker. You need to find get your offensive line together again, right? Figure out what you're going to do on short yardage, and then goal line. You got 2 weeks to get it together. Clock's ticking.
It just seems
ticking.
It just seems like, DP, it's too late. It's too late to click now. If they went out, which should be incredible, you beat Purdue, who is right now ahead of Iowa 7-0 in Iowa City in the second quarter. You beat Ohio State, who is on fire after that loss to Oregon about a month ago. You beat Wisconsin, who you've lost 8 straight times to, and on their home field. And you beat Iowa, who is number 2 in the country. It seems like it's just too late. I know you're right. There's still a month in the season left, but how can you just use a week off and just get clicks and it just goes?
So Husker in Manhattan is on the text line. Says, DP, is our team not good under urgency? No, it's not, and that's coachable. Urgency is coachable. Urgency is what is accepted from the standard. Like always having a standard. Pace of play is urgency, right? Being effective in down and distance, urgency. Being able to get off the field defensively on third down, that's urgency, right? That means you call a play that is effective enough to change the game change the direction of the game in that moment. And consistently, this team hasn't been able to do that. Now, I'm not saying they're not capable of it, but it just hasn't shown up. It hasn't shown up. And those are practice things. Yes, it's hard to practice urgency. But if you tell me that you're okay with only winning 6 wins, then you're telling me that it is not urgent, it is not important, it is not vital, it is not the priority. You cannot tell me that you set 6 wins as the goal and then tell me that there's urgency in your program.
Let's go back to the phones, 464-5685. Call us on the Husker After Party postgame show. Dave, you're up next. Go ahead, man.
Hey, greetings from Vegas, Jake and DPA. I'm feeling
Dave.
pretty good. I got Purdue plus 19. So
anyway,
all right, yeah,
you.
Yeah, I got plus 12 out here. But anyway, 3 and 5 changes the game instead of 4 and 4. At some point, you're not. I don't see how you still can't win on the road, like 5 and 15 or 4 and 14 or something like that. But at some point, you're probably not going to beat Wisconsin because that's a 6th road game. Ohio State's on a mission, and Iowa's got a good defense. So you're 4 and 8. So at some point, you're going to have to figure out. Maybe this is down the road, but you're going to have to figure out, like, okay, our experiment with Adrian didn't work out. We're going to have to play Smothers because at some point you're going to have a freshman quarterback that's never started a Big Ten game if Martinez stays, and then the guy behind him is. I'm just thinking ahead here, but at some point you're going to say, okay, we're getting some guys ready for next year. We're going to try to win anyway, but we're getting guys ready for next year. But anyway, thanks for taking my call, guys. Thank you.
Here's my response to that, DP. Even if Adrian is not back next year, I have a hard time believing that they don't go to the portal for somebody, right? Like, maybe Smothers is your guy, but I would think that they might be trying to get somebody even better than him.
But to do what? What do you want an under center quarterback? Is this center going to block?
I don't know.
Is this quarterback going to block?
I'm optimistic about some others, but I just don't know where the staff's at.
No, I would ask the question: is the next quarterback going to block?
Is he going to snap it to himself,
Right,
block for himself,
I just
and pass it to himself?
Look, I understand through all of that people want to point at Adrian and go, "Yeah, he didn't play well today." But I'll ask you this. What happens if you are willing, and this is the problem I had last year, what happens when you bench your most valuable player, your most valuable offensive player? What happens when you bench him? Is there a better player?
Logan Smothers is not better than Adrian Martinez.
Is he a better player? Okay. What does that mean for the rest of the – like I didn't understand the whole Jacquez Yant benching because – if you're benching somebody for lining up wrong, how have you not benched every offensive lineman other than Cam Jurgens? Right?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
They did. Well, they tried.
What? They don't know the snap count. We got receivers that don't understand 5 backs in the backfield, right? And nobody on the field is changing when you see 5 receivers in the backfield. Nobody said it straight. Like, there's a process. You line up 3 to a side. Each receiver looks at the official to identify where they are, and the official will acknowledge on the line, off the line, on the line, etc. That's in every game from high school up. So how are you missing that and getting that wrong, right? You got to fix the fixables, control the controllables. You're not doing basic stuff, and it shows up in a big, big way on game day. Like, you could tell me that you're fixing it at practice, but you're not. You're not fixing it at practice.
If it's not being fixed in the games, it doesn't matter what you say about practice.
Yeah.
If something's not getting drilled in enough. Okay, a couple more calls before we get to a break. Brian, you were on the After Party Postgame show. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what you guys are saying. I mean, it's just frustrating. I'm like, we had our people in place to make plays, obviously. You gave up at least like 10 to 14 points, and I'm sure this has already been talked about, but, I mean, on the 6-inch line, just do the quarterback sneak. Get the points, please. Come on. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I want to be, like, backing Coach Frost and the team and everything, but it's just, man, it's getting hard. But I'm still behind them, and I think we can still get it done, but just frustrating big time.
Yeah.
Thanks for the call, Brian.
Yeah, look, all of it in play, the responsibility is to the grown-ups. It's to the coaches. And on the text line, Husker, you're right. Everything that happens on Saturday is either taught or allowed. It's either coached or allowed. And these things have been constant. Constant. Bad kicking, tolerated.
Apparently so.
Missed snap counts, tolerated. Not knowing your coverage, tolerated. At some point, the players have to make plays, right? Yant's got to make a play. Adrian's got to make a play with his back to the goal line, right? You got to do it. JoJo's got to make tackles in open field. Kolarvik's got to make tackles in open field, right? We understand the linebackers got to make plays in open field. That's the players have to execute. The coaches have to put them in a position to do so. If either of them fails, they have to pick the other one up, and they're not doing it.
Yep. Back to the phones we go. We have Patrick now. Patrick, you're on the After Party Postgame show. Go ahead.
Hey, Jake. Yeah, no, I haven't heard a whole lot just being on late, so I don't know what people have brought up, but I have a couple of things. First of all is I feel like just a lot of our issues stem with the offensive line because, I mean, our defense isn't spectacular all the time. No. They give us chances to win the game. But it seems like, it felt like we had stuff kind of figured out a little bit when Teddy was in there, and then I feel like we've gone backwards again in the past, in this game now. That's my first issue. And the second one is kind of related to that is everybody wants to sit there and complain about Martinez at times. And it seems like they want to complain to him, you're causing all these problems, this and that. At the end of the day, though, it's on Frost. I mean, unless you want Martinez to sit there and say, hey, coach, take me out. I don't want to play anymore. The guy's going to play until the coaches make a decision change here. And I don't think he's out there running around thinking, oh, man, how can I screw this up?
Thanks for the call. Let me say this in terms of that. This is the first game. Correct me if I'm wrong, DP. This is maybe the Illinois game. This is the second game that Adrian really just has not played great. Right? This is right. Mm-hmm. We've been talking about the last few weeks him being in the conversation as one of the best quarterbacks in the conference.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So to have that comment be the sake of, okay, we need to move on to a different quarterback. What's the conversation been the last month? He's been one of the absolute best quarterbacks in the conference. How can we be so short-sighted on this? Because we're frustrated? I understand.
No. Fans should be upset now. Because the fans are recognizing that if they do not put their foot down, this will continue and it will not get better. It won't get better. This requires the people that matter, the fans, to stand up and say this is not good enough.
Yeah.
Right? That we're not going to go through and have a coaching staff that tells you everything's fine when we know that it's not. You can't tell me that 3-5 is fine. You can't tell me that you're turning the corner, especially when around the corner is Ohio State, Wisconsin, and Iowa. Right? You can't tell me that. Did you take a step back today? You absolutely did.
Yep.
And you took steps back in places that should be fixable. Again, key third down, short yardage deal, false start. Yikes. Right? And we knew exactly how to respond to that because we had seen it before. You haven't fixed, you haven't adjusted, you haven't moved forward. Look, I don't know what the mindset of the players are. You probably hear more about that later, but I would imagine they're frustrated. And I would imagine that the coaches are frustrated.
Yeah.
Right? I would think at some point.
Cam Taylor-Britt said that guys weren't.
Are you willing to change what you do to change the result? That's all I need to know. Tell me, are you willing to change what you do to change the result? Everybody wants to be better. Are you willing to work? Right? You have to do something to change
put the work in.
Can't stand at Memorial Stadium and go, we want to win, and then not put in the work before or after.
Another call. We have John. John, you're on the Husker After Party postgame show. Go ahead.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. I really enjoy the station, morning and afternoon especially. My comment is I just want to push back a little bit on your comment that you know that Adrian Martinez is better than Logan Smothers. Okay, we don't know that because we haven't seen enough of Logan Smothers. We do know that Adrian Martinez misses, for all the good he does, tremendous player, tremendous human being, he misses a tremendous amount of plays every game. Small plays that make the difference. First drive, 2 wide open guys he misses, right? So please let up on that. We know that he's the best. We don't know that. We know that under Adrian, we are a 400 team, 400% team. Okay? Thanks for taking my call. Appreciate it.
Thanks for the call.
We don't know. They know.
The team knows.
They know. Or at least I hope they know. Remember, there's a certain level of trust that has to be put in play. I would think that they know more football than we do. Like, I question it sometimes. But I still want to know how you put yourself in that situation. If Logan Smothers can turn it, I back his statement in this. The coaching theory is if I'm losing, I can lose without you. If I'm 3-5 with Adrian Martinez, a part of me would say, well, I can go 3-5 without you.
Right.
Unless I'm going to go 1-7. Unless I'm going to go 1-7 without you, and then I was wrong. That's not necessarily a risk I want to take, but if there's urgency, I at least have to consider it. If there's urgency and you have to beat Purdue, you have to beat Purdue in 2 weeks, guess what? You better figure it out. And in truth, they have to beat Purdue.
Yeah.
Because if they don't beat Purdue, everybody's got their head on a swivel on the coaching staff the following week.
You're 3-6.
You're 3-6 with Ohio State coming to the building.
And Iowa to follow. And Wisconsin. You gotta
No. We've been joking about the most important game of the season being every week.
Yeah, well, no, it is.
Guess what? 2 weeks. It's really important. It's really important. As a matter of fact, before you buy that house, you might want to be Purdue. That's
before we get to a break, again, you can keep calling 464-5685. From the text line, Eric says this: common ingredients in all the losses. Frost and Martinez. Martinez has proven they can't win with him. They can lose without him. Martinez is good when it doesn't matter. It's time to at least try something different behind center. You don't know what someone else can do unless you actually give them a chance. Thanks, Eric.
I actually want to see – I want that same thinking and same energy about the offensive line.
Yeah.
Look, every great team works from line back. So tell me that you're going to put the same energy behind if what you're doing isn't good enough, we're going to make changes. Do that with the 5 guys up front and give your best offensive player an opportunity to not have to carry the team.
We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. You can keep your calls coming, 402-464-5685. We are live at Tanner's for the combination of the Husker After Party postgame show and the Ticket postgame show. DP and myself, Jake Sorensen. This is all sponsored by Action Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, Vinny Creekhack of State Farm Insurance, Tanner's, Southeast Community College, and N Street Drive-In. More next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
State Farm, this is Bill.
It finally got me, Bill.
What's that, Rick?
The Clark Street crater, the mother of all potholes.
Oh.
Year after rim-wrecking year, it's tormented the people of this town. It got me good.
But you know, State Farm's got you too.
You hear that? You ain't nothing.
You trash talking a pothole?
Yes, I am.
Go with the one that's here to help life go right. State Farm.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Creekhack, at 402-474-1173.
Hi, I'm Charlie Stone, and joining me is Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, are you there?
Yes, I am, Charlie.
Hey, Andy, I saw on television you have more than 500 new Hondas in stock or on the way. Now, I'm sure the listeners would like to hear more about that.
Well, Charlie, it's true. We have truckloads of new Hondas arriving just about every day. What's different is you won't see them on the lot very long because most all of them are pre-sold. And that's what we're encouraging all of our customers to do is get in here, get their order in as soon as possible.
Well, tell me, Andy, will they have to wait long?
Not really. It could be a few days or maybe even a few weeks, but not long at all. So I really invite everyone to come on out and experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Thank you, Andy. Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill has food and drink specials every night for all the games. Enjoy jumbo pork tenderloin for $8.99 and 90-cent wings for Monday Night Football, or Comfort Thursday Night Football with chicken fried chicken, steak, or pork for just $9.99 and $20 Coors Light aluminum buckets. Watch college football on Saturdays with an Eggie sandwich for $9.99 and Coors Light specials, and catch NFL Sundays with Bloody Marys and more. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Another packed fall sports season means it's time to get to N Street Drive-In to fill up on all your beverage needs. This month's specials are Sam Adams, Exile Brewing from Iowa, and other fall seasons. Also, make sure to download the new N Street Drive-In app to order online and to set up delivery right to your front door. And don't forget their top-notch Crowler fill system. N Street Drive-In, your one-stop beverage stop at 1801 O Street.
You could celebrate a Nebraska football win with chips or wings and your favorite beverage, but Beatrice Bakery has all sorts of cakes to celebrate all victories this fall. Coffee cake, breakfast bread, artisan cakes, and especially Grandma's fruit cake. No one remembers who brought the chips, but everyone remembers who brought the cake. Make your parties memorable and your Mondays at the office better with cakes from Beatrice Bakery. They ship nationwide. Check out BeatriceBakery.com. Proud sponsor of the Nebraska Shrine Bowl. Welcome to our world of yum.
Early break with Sip and Jake.
Nebraska really needs to make sure they don't go down as the best team to not make a bowl game.
Think about some of the guys that wouldn't, if they don't end up in a bowl game, that wouldn't go to a bowl game. I mean, Adrian, perhaps he could come back next year.
JoJo Doman.
But yeah, the guys on like the two safeties. I mean, that would be horrible.
I know.
That'd be awful.
Because this team is absolutely good enough to be in a bowl.
Yeah, they're a bowl team.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning. Tailgating wasn't just meant for weekends. Join 93.7 The Ticket every Tuesday at Chick-fil-A for Tailgate Tuesdays. Scan your app with any purchase on Tuesdays and you'll be entered to win a tailgate meal for 15 people. That's chicken nuggets, fresh fruit, and iced tea or lemonade. Winners will be contacted each Wednesday, and you can come see Tom and Bach from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the 48th and O location or at South Point each week. It's Tailgate Tuesdays all season long at Chick-fil-A in Lincoln.
Starting the right career is one of the most important decisions you'll ever make. You want to enjoy your career, be challenged, have fun, earn a great weekly paycheck, and work for a great company. If you're looking for a career change or right out of high school, the John Henry's Plumbing Apprentice Program may be the perfect answer. You'll get paid while getting hands-on training. We focus on your skills while you engage in real-world learning. Why not join the John Henry's team today? Apply at jhlincoln.com. That's jhlincoln.com.
John Henry's Plumbing, heating and air.
Hi, Sean Callahan here. In 2013, I first came across Koppel Chevrolet GMC in Louisville, and I've been a customer ever since. What's kept me coming back to Koppel is the people. Oftentimes, owner Bob Koppel and his son Brandon are right there with you in the showroom, walking you through the process. There's no runaround at Koppel. It's a hardworking Nebraska company built on honest, small-town values. So make that short drive to Louisville or visit them online at koppelcars.com.
McKinney's Irish Pub in the Haymarket is your place for English Premier League soccer. Chelsea leads the way so far in the EPL at 5-1-1, and they host Brentford on Saturday at 11:30 a.m., while second place Liverpool hosts Watford early Saturday morning at 6:30. Man City heads to Burnley for a 9 a.m. start, and on Sunday morning, West Ham hosts Everton. All at McKinney's Irish Pub, your headquarters in Lincoln for English Premier League soccer at 8th and P.
Last year, the average starting pay for an SCC truck driver training program graduate was $44,720. Southeast Community College can now make that a reality in only 8 weeks with its professional truck driver training class starting in October. SCC's fleet of 12 trucks and professional instructors will prepare you for a new career. You'll end the course with your Class A CDL. Learn more about SCC's professional truck driver training class at southeast.edu/truckdriver. SCC, your path to possible.
Back to the Husker After Party postgame show, brought to you by Southeast Community College on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Yeah, well, I'll say this. For a team that's predominantly shotgun, we do work on under center snaps. We do have QB sneaks, things like that, but there are exchange problems you could worry about, and it takes repetition from running backs. It's hitting the hole is different out of the gun than it is when you're under center. You're in different landmarks, different aiming points for handoffs, things like that, and those things have to be worked, and that takes time out of practice. Now, look, I play on the team, and we run what is called, so not sure. Maybe that's something we explore. Maybe it isn't, but we feel confident in what we had called there, and I'm sure we would do it again and have faith in our guys.
That is Husker quarterback Adrian Martinez asked postgame about why Nebraska was not under center.
Did you catch that?
Yeah.
I'm on the team. I run what's called.
Uh-huh. Yeah, what are your thoughts on that, DP? That little shot of the coaching staff?
The plot
there?
thickens.
Play call?
The plot thickens. The plot thickens. Yeah, I caught that. Look, I know the normal language, and that wasn't it.
Well, let's just say this, DP. I mean, the play before that, Adrian we thought he had scored, but he also delivered a pretty good hit to the defense. They delivered a hit back. He put his shoulder down, and that's a big dude. Adrian's not a small quarterback.
Too high. Too high at the goal line.
But at fourth and goal inside the one.
Too high at the goal line. Easiest way for quarterbacks to go is get low, make it difficult to hit.
That's why
give a smaller target in short yardage. That's, again, I don't understand how constantly in short yardage, Adrian's straight up. He's straight up. Is it being coached or allowed? Think back to Michigan, the fumble.
Yep.
Straight up, short yardage, goal line, short yardage. Look, figure it out. But that to me is a telltale.
There have been we'll get to some Frost in a second, but DP in 3 straight games, 2 for the opponent, 1 for Nebraska. Inside the 1 yard line. Here's what's happened. Northwestern was inside the 1, shotgun snap. They got a fumble. Nebraska got the ball back on their own 10. Michigan game, inside the 1. They go to hand off the ball. The quarterback's knee goes down. They have to kick a field goal instead. Nebraska inside the 1. Shotgun formation. Can't score the touchdown. 3 straight weeks it's happened for either us or the opponent.
And they also now I will lean towards having a 4th or 5th back in the game. My question is this. The best short yardage runner on the team is, drumroll, Marquis Stepp.
Who is on a milk carton right now.
He's on a milk carton, waving at everybody, waiting for somebody to call. Situational play calling, situational personnel. Don't know what the answer is. Doesn't make sense.
All right, we got a quote from Scott Frost. We'll get to a couple calls. Nick, go ahead and play the Scott Frost audio you have.
I've watched every snap of their tape this year, and they've done a pretty good job against sneak. There's kind of another reason I didn't feel great about that play right then. I think he'd have been in if he hadn't stumbled in the backfield. So I think we were in the right thing. Didn't execute very well.
Okay, there's Scott Frost on why they did not do the sneak versus the play call that Jacques Hesiant on the 4th and goal that was stuffed inside the 1.
It to me, that didn't tell me anything other than I saw what I saw, I did what I did. Again, at this point, that sort of thinking keeps you in the situations that you're in. They're constant. So yeah, I'd love for you to read the 3-part text that we got.
Okay, I will. And then we'll get to a couple calls from Jack and Craig.
Jack,
hang on,
we've been
Jack
waiting.
and Craig.
Appreciate you, man.
Hang tight. Text
Appreciate
before
you.
that.
Yep.
3-part text is this in the text line at 464-5685. Too many pass plays take too long to develop with a suspect offensive line. Need quicker developing plays. Also, I saw this loss coming when I saw Frost's response after last week's loss. He acted too content with the losing effort, too complimentary to the players after the losing effort. He needed to keep the angry, pissed off edge he had after the Michigan State loss.
So as we watched the game together, and we kept saying, well, geez, we need to get rid of the ball. Yes, throwing away the ball versus having a play to make in a quick developing route. There's a difference between the two.
Yep.
And you have to stop asking your quarterback to hold the ball and wait for receivers to get open, especially when he's not sure he's going to be protected. All the boxes are checked for something really bad to happen. That's the case.
Should we get some calls?
Somebody, let me address the text line.
All right.
How in the world, DP, do you know that Stepp is our best short yardage back? Because he played the game before he got here in a power running scheme. He's got tape as a power runner in a Power 5 football game. Several of them, as a matter of fact. You go to their practice and watch drills, what you see is power. Power. He's not a speed guy. He's a power guy. From their own words, he's a power guy. He's their power guy. That's how I know it.
Simple as that. All right, couple calls. We will go to the phones now. You can keep calling us, 464-5685. Jack, you're on the Husker After Party Postgame Show. Thanks for waiting. Go ahead.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Thanks for sticking it out. I want to congratulate you guys. I think you guys have finally passed the local Omaha sports talk radio for the best in the state. So I think
that's
in my mind.
I
appreciate that.
You know that what you just said there. Man, let's get that dude a shirt.
Yeah, you deserve a shirt.
Hey, man, get your all some reception down here, and we'll up here we'll have a little more fun. But no, I think what's happening is with the team is it's pretty simple. It's when you are this close this many times, you're not as close as you think. And we've built the team. We haven't built a team around our quarterback very well. And I think once we get a quarterback that maybe we don't feel like we have to lean on so much, you can start building a team with your quarterback, not necessarily have to rely on a quarterback so much to do so much. And, I think like you look at Minnesota, Tanner Morgan's not going to blow you away. You look at Iowa, Petrus not going to blow you away. But one thing that they do well is they don't turn the ball over and they don't make mistakes down the stretch. And they allow their teammates to make plays. And we just don't have enough of that. And I think Ross has put all his chips in Adrian's basket. And I think it's, you say, well, how would this team be without him? I mean, maybe it might be worse for a little bit, but at the same time, I think it forces the team or the coaches to coach up other positions, so we're not so reliant on the QB. So, anyway, have a great day, guys. We'll stick it out the rest of the year, and I'm sure it's going to get better. So,
thanks for the great call.
For the call, Jack.
That's a great call.
It was.
That's a great call. Easy enough. Simplicity. Yeah. Look. Do we have time to go through the numbers? Do you want to wait?
Yeah, we can go through them.
All right, let's go through some of these numbers again so we can understand exactly what happened today, and the numbers will tell you a story. First downs, 22-19 Minnesota, 12 rushing first downs to 6, 12 passing first downs to 9 for Nebraska, 182 yards net rushing. To 136 yards net rushing for Nebraska. For just under 4.5 a carry, plus 4 for both teams in that space. Lots of rushing touchdowns. The carries were in place. Adrian, 18 of 33, 7 per attempt, 13 per completion. Tanner Morgan, 20 of 24, 8 plus per attempt. 10 plus for the completion. And look, being able to make throws in space, being able to identify weaknesses, throws to the flat, outer third stuff, this is layup work. It's layup work, and I don't know why they refuse to take the layup against a team that's absolutely giving you space, outer third, middle, right down the middle, right in front of Adrian Martinez, and you throw big. Further down, here's the number that set the tone for the game. In the first half, Minnesota had the ball for 21-plus minutes of the first half. If you want to know why the Black Shirts have a tough time getting off the field late in the game, it's because they're spending too much time on the field in the first half. That's how that works. They were on the field for 21 of 30 minutes in the first half. For an 11 o'clock game, you can't ask your defense to do that.
The offense was struggling in the first half to get anything going, and the defense, was giving up 10, chunk plays, 7, 8 yards, 10 yards. You got to give credit. Tanner Morgan played really good in the first half. DP, he made some great throws, but they didn't make the mistakes. They were very crisp and clean. And the second half, honestly, think about this. That first drive, Minnesota was moving the ball. As they got the ball in the second half, they throw the pick, the deep shot to Cam Taylor-Britt, and after that, their offense was broken until midway through the fourth quarter. They got the ball back. The next series after that, threw a bad pick to Deontay Williams, who got hurt in the play. If he doesn't go down, he might have scored a touchdown there. Yeah. He had that side of the field plus blockers. That was a horrible throw.
True.
And then the next few drives, it was 3 and out or just nothing. And then of course you gave them momentum with the safety. They score a touchdown, go up by 14. You score a quick one. Onside kick goes to them. You don't stop them. The game's over. But they did nothing after that intercept, that great play by Cam Taylor-Britt. They were going for a deep shot to put the game away. It was intercepted. Nebraska went down and scores a touchdown. And the defense was doing their job. But you're right. That first half, they got just so drained and wiped out. It was going to come back and bite them eventually.
You can't ask your defense to play 21 minutes and a half.
Nope.
Can't do it. You just can't do it. From the text line. Okay, guys, question of the year, is this coaching or is this lack of talent? Yes. Yes. That's my answer. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. If you listen to the shows all week, we broke down what Minnesota does well, what they don't do well. And we simply said if Nebraska's playing at Apex, Nebraska, there are things that they can do against Minnesota that Minnesota wouldn't defend. And when they did those things, they worked. When you did not do those things, it did not go as well. That's this to say, yeah, well, you had your fourth or fifth running back on the field. So did they. So did they.
Yeah.
They simplified the game plan.
They had their third running back.
They simplified the game plan. Like his first 16 throws were warm-up throws. Those are warm-up throws. Those are throws that Tanner Morgan makes every day in practice under zero pressure. And guess what he did in the first 16 plays? He made 16 throws under zero pressure. If you're not going to make it uncomfortable.
You got to make them uncomfortable, man.
Hey, man, that's what happens.
One last call before a break. We've got Craig. Craig, thanks for waiting. You're on the Husker After Party postgame show. Go ahead.
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking my call. Wondered if you guys wouldn't mind just touching base on how you think Mario Verduzco is doing as a coach. We don't hear much about him. He was talked up pretty heavy early on, and Adrian really doesn't seem to be developing year to year to become a better quarterback. He's a great athlete, but the mental mistakes, to me, leads back to Verduzco. I'm just wondering what you guys think. You don't really ever talk much about that guy. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Craig. To be totally honest, Jake, I don't know what Verduzco teaches. I'm saying that to say this. Scott Frost is the play caller, right?
Yep.
Matt Lubick is the receivers coach, right?
Yep.
Okay. So when you have two bosses above you, because Lubick will be above, right?
Yes.
He's above Mario.
He should be.
Right?
He is.
And then Scott calls the plays. So exactly what is the imprint? What impact is Verduzco making on Adrian Martinez? Are they teaching? Is he teaching what Adrian needs to know? Is he in Adrian's head? Because in his head has to be the play caller. The coordinator has to be the eyes and ears, maybe the mechanics. And if you're saying that Verduzco is the mechanics guy, well, then we got issue. High throws in space across the middle late. Missing throws outer third with under no coverage. Not taking care of the ball in crucial situations. Those are QB coach things. So I'll ask you, Jake, what does that say to you?
There's a lot of questions about Mario Verduzco. I think in general, this is where it's weird because Adrian had a bad game compared for what he's been doing. But like we said, Adrian has been very good this season otherwise. And so we're just going to pick apart one bad game and say, oh, now Mario Verduzco is terrible. What's he doing with the quarterbacks? I thought this. Now, we haven't seen much of him, but when I have seen Smothers this year in his limited play, he looks pretty comfortable to me. I've seen him make some throws in late action. I've seen him run the football. So if you want to say, oh, well, the quarterbacks are terrible, Adrian hasn't got better. Well, he has been better this year than he was last year. He's taking more deep shots. He's allowed to have a bad football game. He wasn't good today. But to just go back and say that Mario is horrible and is doing nothing.
I just don't know what he does.
I don't
either. I don't.
But I can't say he's doing nothing.
In most cases, quarterback coach works side by side with the receivers coach and has some input in what you're going to ask that quarterback to do. Right?
Yes.
And I don't know whose voice is in Adrian's head during plays. I don't know who's in his head when he comes to the sideline. Like, is Verduzco in his head?
I don't know.
Like, is he talking to him
Mario
first?
was on the side. I saw him on the sideline. He was down there.
So he's the voice on the sideline.
Yep.
Lubick's upstairs. Scott's on the sideline. Is it that Lubick's just eyes and ears and then making sure that Verduzco knows what Scott wants Adrian to do? I'm really not sure because it doesn't move the way it normally should move.
Yep. 464-5685. Keep your calls and texts coming. Again, by the way, if you are in Tanner's or you're in the area, we're rifling off free jersey signed by all three Husker Heisman winners, Johnny Rogers, Mike Rozier, Eric Crouch. All you got to do is come by Tanner's, 30th Yankee Hill, put your name in the box. We will draw for that here in a little bit as we are here for the Husker After Party postgame show and the Ticket postgame show combined today. DP, and myself, Jake Sorensen. This is all sponsored again by Action Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, serving Lincoln and Southeast Nebraska for over 50 years. Visit their website at actionlincoln.com.
How much time do they have to get here? Till 5?
Till 4:30.
4:30. Okay.
You got about 35 minutes to get here.
Okay.
Again, Vinny Creekak, State Farm Insurance, Southeast Community College, and N Street Drive. And by the way, the specials today at Tanner's.
Okay.
If you want to know that.
Yep.
You get a $9.99 eggy sandwich.
Which is, do we know?
I don't know.
Gotta
Sounds
ask.
good though.
Gotta ask.
I'm sure we can find out.
Is that a burger with egg top?
It could
Is that
be.
maybe?
We'll figure that out
Okay.
before we come back. And
Okay.
also $4 Coors Light 16-ounce aluminum pints.
That means you can have 4 of them.
You could.
That means you can have 4 of them before you max out.
That's right. That's true. We again keep your calls coming. 464-5685. We'll be back with more next on the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome to today's episode of The Great Unknowns. Last time we talked about why chickens can't just cross the road in peace. Today's topic is the great unknowns of the future. Like, am I ready for what life throws at me? Well, that answer is easy. Just call a local State Farm agent. State Farm agents will help you plan for the what ifs in life so you know what to expect if the unexpected happens. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Call your local State Farm agent Vinny Creekak at 402-474-1173.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill has food and drink specials every night for all the games. Enjoy jumbo pork tenderloin for $8.99 and 90-cent wings for Monday Night Football, or Comfort Thursday Night Football with chicken fried chicken, steak, or pork for just $9.99 and $20 Coors Light aluminum buckets. Watch college football on Saturdays with an eggy sandwich for $9.99 and Coors Light specials, and catch NFL Sundays with Bloody Marys and more. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
Another packed fall sports season means it's time to get to N Street Drive-In to fill up on all your beverage needs. This month's specials are Sam Adams, Exile Brewing from Iowa, and other fall seasons. Also, make sure to download the new N Street Drive-In app to order online and to set up delivery right to your front door. And don't forget their top-notch Crowler fill system. N Street Drive-In, your one-stop beverage stop at 1801 O Street.
Why pay for average lawn care when you can get better elsewhere? Blades Lawn Care is the place to go for excellent service for homeowners associations and commercial or residential lawn work. As we enter the fall with aerating and lawn care ahead of winter, also prepare for 2022 maintenance for your lawn. Call Rich today at 402-730-6320 to learn more, or to schedule services for the fall, or to look ahead to 2022. Blades Lawn Care, trusted service for over 10 years.
Last year, the average starting pay for an SCC truck driver training program graduate was $44,720. Southeast Community College can now make that a reality in only 8 weeks with its professional truck driver training class starting in October. SCC's fleet of 12 trucks and professional instructors will prepare you for a new career. You'll end the course with your Class A CDL. Learn more about SCC's professional truck driver training class at southeast.edu/truckdriver. SCC, your path to possible.
Dreaming of the perfect kitchen? More room for entertaining? Today, the Johnsons got both and saved by consolidating their debt. With a home equity line of credit, you can borrow money as you need it, have flexible payment options, and pay interest on only the money you're using. If you have equity in your home, the possibilities are endless with a home equity line of credit. What will you decide to do? Get started by visiting LibertyFirstCU.com today. Approval required. Equal opportunity lender. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose.
All the fall favorites are back at Bagels & Joe. Try their caramel apple cream cheese on any of their bagels, or pick up some pumpkin chocolate chip muffins or pumpkin spice lattes for the office. And don't forget their delicious breakfast sandwiches and burritos. Bagels & Joe with 4 Lincoln locations.
Breakfast tacos, brisket tacos, pork tacos, chicken tacos. You hungry yet? I can keep going. Pork or chicken, queso nachos, queso mac and cheese, hatch mac burritos. Now you're salivating. Muchachos is Lincoln's premier New Mexico barbecue fusion restaurant. You can't miss them in their bright blue building. Pair that great food with delicious coffee for breakfast and a variety of local and national beers on tap the rest of the day. Order your food online at yomuchacho.com or visit them in person at Muchachos on South 11th Street between L and K Streets.
Landmark Implement, your local John Deere dealership, is searching for mechanics of all skill levels to grow with us. Landmark offers a competitive wage, full benefits package, along with paid time off within just 60 days of employment, as well as a 401k and a boot and clothing allowance. Interested in becoming a part of the Landmark difference? Apply now at landmarkimp.com/careers or contact Deanna 402-310-7561 or email careers@landmarkimp.com. That's landmarkimp.com. Landmark Implement is an equal opportunity employer.
You could celebrate a Nebraska football win with chips or wings and your favorite beverage, but Beatrice Bakery has all sorts of cakes to celebrate all victories this fall. Coffee cake, breakfast bread, artisan cakes, and especially Grandma's fruit cake. No one remembers who brought the chips, but everyone remembers who brought the cake. Make your parties memorable and your Mondays at the office better with cakes from Beatrice Bakery. They ship nationwide. Check out BeatriceBakery.com. Proud sponsors of the Nebraska Shrine Bowl. Welcome to our world of yum.
We're gonna eat pizza from Casey's and watch the football games. Yeah, enjoy the season with delicious Casey's pizza. 2 tasty pizzas for big game days.
Now at Casey's, you can get 2 large single-topping pizzas with delicious made-from-scratch dough for $9.99 each with promo code DOUBLE.
Casey's here for good. Yeah.
One host has a red beard and thinning hair. The other also has a red beard and thinning hair. One host got married over the summer. So did the other one. One is a diehard fan of a sub-500 AL Central baseball team. So is the other. Can these 2 radio hosts do a show together without getting confused as to their own identity? The same couple. Happer and Schaefer. Weekday mornings from 8 to 11 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Back to the Husker After Party postgame show. Brought to you by Southeast Community College on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We talked about it a lot on the headset, and at that point, I thought making the field goal only being down 2, the way we were playing on offense, that we'd get it back down there to have another chance at a field goal, and we would have if we'd have made that one. I'm kind of scratching my head with that one because we make a 50-yarder, then miss a PAT. So we got to be more consistent there. But we definitely talked about trying to go for it, and we did go for it on 4th down a couple times.
There's Scott Frost in postgame talking about kicking the field goal, which has been a problem for Nebraska. Besides last year, most of the tenure so far, I think about 2018, Barrett Pickering was okay that year. Wasn't perfect. 2019, of course, was a horrendous year of field goal kicking. They went through, I think, 4 or 5 kickers, something like that, or 6. And then this year's back to being bad again. Connor Culp makes a 50-yarder, misses an extra point, almost misses another extra point. I did enjoy DP, though. We were at Tanner's. By the way, we're still at Tanner's, 30th and Yankee Hill. We'll be for another half hour. Stop by if you want a chance to win a free autographed jersey by all 3 Heisman winners, Mike Rozier, Johnny Rogers, Eric Crouch. You just got to stop by, put your name in the box. We'll draw in about 25 minutes. And if you were here, we draw, we will give it to you. But I enjoyed it, Tanner's. End of the game, Nebraska scores a touchdown to make it an 8-point game.
Yeah.
Connor Culp kicks an extra point right to the uprights, and there was a very sarcastic applause here because of
Bronx cheer.
The pain
Bronx
that
cheer.
had been happening there.
I don't see this is what's tough for me. I tend to give teams credit for the things that they do and then root for them to get better at the things they don't. But it gets frustrating because you're giving energy to a thing that isn't paying it back. All right, you're rooting like crazy for these players. And Connor Culp, man, I'm rooting for you, bro. I am rooting for you. Oh, by the way, Husker fans, I was down 14-7 at halftime against Purdue. Oh, that team that's coming in a couple of weeks, they're up 14-7 against Iowa at halftime.
I got
on the road. Hey, they're on the road, by the way. Yeah, there's that.
I just want to say this before we move on. I like to give myself a little pat in the back. I don't do it very often.
Yeah.
This week, Sip and I made a bet on early break. I think Iowa was an 11-point favorite going, and I said Purdue might win the game outright. He said, no way. Not happy. I said, hey, man, Purdue, Jeff Brom is 3-1 against Kirk Ferentz as the head coach of Iowa and beat him last year, by the way. He ain't scared of them. He knows how to dial up the Iowa Hawkeyes.
This is so funny, right? So the text line says this. Frost has talked about, Shaney, this is from Shaney. Frost has talked about his reactionary offense and how he calls plays based on what the defense is showing him. Problem with that is the defense can be set and based off their formation, and they have a good guess as to what offense's reaction play call will be. Nebraska's offense needs to be who they are and call the plays that they have the personnel to execute instead of trying to outthink their opponents. Shaney, you know where the stadium is? You should probably go down there and write down some of this stuff.
Uh-huh.
You might want to just leave a note down there. You might want to read.
Yep.
Look, nobody enjoys a Saturday like this. Nobody does. They had opportunities to win. They have the personnel to win. They have the schemes to win. And somewhere between practice and game time, some of those things get left behind. And in truth, I don't know what those things are. I don't know what they do in practice and don't bring to game time. I can only tell you what they show on Saturday. And at 3-5, this team has put itself in a very difficult spot.
Absolutely.
Right? And that's not us. That's not what we want to talk about. That's not what we want to see. It simply is.
No doubt about it. 464-5685, call or text as always. We're going to hear from Connor Happer here shortly. He's made the trip. Oh, he's actually here. All right, we are joined by Connor Happer, host of Happer and Schaefer 8-11, our program director also. He made the trip to Minneapolis. We are here on the Husker After Party postgame show / the Ticket postgame show. Good afternoon, Happer. It's hard to even ask the first question because we're just still at a loss of words. We've been talking for over 2 hours here on the postgame show. We're still trying to wrap our heads around what happened. What was, I guess I ask you, what was the mood right in the postgame from Scott Frost and players from your vantage point?
Well, I mean, first of all, hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, I mean, you guys saw it. They did not come out with the right mentality, and they were not. I mean, it's something that I talked about a lot all week. Talked a lot about, and I was worried that you were going to get a little sleepy with a week short of the bye and an 11 a.m. game, and basically every player to a man talked about it after the game. Frost talked about it after the game. They didn't come out the right way, and they lost part of the game in the first half. With that being said, they still had a chance to win it, and then the problems that plagued them popped back up with not being able to punch drives into the end zone, not converting on field goals, and then having a bad break or two going against you as well. So first half was a little uncharacteristic for this team. You'd only seen that one other time against Illinois in the first game of the year, and doesn't make it any more acceptable or anything like that. But it was getting a little uncharacteristic of this team. You expect them to show up, and then the characteristic stuff shows up in the second half, and that equals the story today.
Yeah, I think what we were kind of surprised or disappointed in, Happer, was, you heard from Cam Taylor-Britt and Scott Frost in postgame talking about how the team was flat. Maybe they weren't ready to go out and play early on. Of course, we kind of asked the question this week. You don't have the jacked-up crowd for a 6:30 p.m. game at home with the light show and the lights on with ABC and Michigan in town. You had to go make your own energy. But Scott Frost said on Thursday that he wasn't worried about that. He said that these guys have the focus, they're prepared. And then you hear Cam Taylor-Britt say the guys were a little bit slow this morning. You had to kind of get them going. Scott Frost was aware of that. What was your take on that being said and how that can happen?
Well, he said, I think Frost he saw it before the game, and he saw it obviously as the game started, and maybe it was a misread by him. He said after the game that he was kind of willing to slough it off as he was willing to write it off as a business-like approach. And I don't know if he's just saying that or if that's just a bad read. But you can't like, look, the stuff that we talk about with Nebraska being in these situations, their margin for error is just so tight. You saw it when they lose these games to these teams over the last 3 weeks, and they've done enough to make you feel like, all right, if they copy and paste those performances over, then they'll be fine. And they would have been today if they would have copied and pasted that over for the entire 60 minutes, but they didn't. They looked a hell of a lot like they did against Illinois. And you can't have two, you can't give away two on top of having a small margin for error. You just can't. So I don't know how that could happen. It's something that we thought they were kind of past. It was 5-1. Like, the overwhelming evidence suggested that Nebraska was going to show up ready to play today. And I think Frost was kind of going off of that. And it's a senior, laden team. It's a group, and he was ready to say, you know what, I think they'll just, show up and be ready to play. Obviously, you can't assume that still, even now with this, eighth game into the season, and you still have a pretty old squad.
Connor, what's going to be the priority Monday morning? I mean, you got 2 weeks, and this performance puts you in a very, very dark place. What's going to be the priority Monday morning for this 3-5 football team looking with his eyes forward to Purdue?
Well, I think you definitely do have to, take a couple days and get everybody, ready. And on top of being mentally beat, like you said, DP, that's definitely true. On top of being mentally beat, you're physically beat from the last 8 weeks. And just, today was, Minnesota had a bye coming into today. They had played. Sorry, the wind's getting in my way here. They had a bye coming into today, and they'd only played 5 games, and that probably showed a little bit. That's not an excuse for Nebraska, but it was what it was. Nebraska was playing their 8th game, and Minnesota's playing their 6th. So I think you got to take a few days at first and get right, whether it's stepping away from football for a couple of days. I think that'd probably be in order for this team at this point. And then you get back to it. I mean, there is definitely good things that are happening, but you can't have the mental lapses like you had today. You can't show up on a game on the road, and I don't know how you can. I mean, with a team that had your number and took you to the woodshed a couple of years ago in this building, and wasn't supposed to win last year, but came to your house and won. And the coach, the way he is, and that whole thing, I don't know how you don't show up ready to go today. It didn't happen. So whatever it takes to get to that place after the bye, because now you're pushing upstream a little bit.
Joined by Connor Happer. He was in Minneapolis today for Nebraska's 30-23 loss to the Gophers. Huskers now 3-5 on the season. With that being said, Happer, a conversation we were having this morning throughout the postgame show, the pregame show, and even all week long, was that you already had little margin for error to begin with. This is a chance to get back to 4-4. You didn't have a chance to win the West. Now you officially have no chance to win the West, of course, if it wasn't done before. But the goal for the season was get to a bowl game, and you want to be more than that. But 6-6 was the goal, and right now you have to win 3 of your last 4 games to get there, and 2 of those games are against top 5 teams in Ohio State and Iowa. So if you're trying to properly assess the rest of the season with this bye week coming up, I mean, how in the world do you get to that goal after you lose this game today?
Yeah, you couldn't afford to lose it. We said all week it was going to be a different conversation if they lost any of the next 2 games. So the ones that you're going to be favored in. Now we'll see, I guess, what it looks like in 2 weeks. Purdue's, in there with Iowa right now, and maybe that looks a little bit different afterwards. We'll see. But yeah, Nebraska had to come out of 2 weeks from now at home against Purdue. They had to come out of that game 5-4, and they're not going to come out of that game 5-4 anymore. So it's like I said, they're swimming upstream a little bit, and a lot of it actually at this point. They've dropped 2 games that they just simply didn't show up for, and then lost a couple other tough ones. And you can live with losing the tough ones if you don't drop the games that you're simply not supposed to drop. And they've done that now twice this year. So they're already thin margin for error, and now it's getting thinner, and now it's really thin. And so you're going to have to, lace them up against Purdue. That's a non-negotiable. You got to win that game. Otherwise, we're headed, clearly in the other direction at this point. And then, the next likely one would be against Wisconsin. That's no easy task going on the road and winning that game in November. And then, Ohio State, Iowa, and if they can play, if you could trust them to play, get up for those games like they did against the other three good teams that they've played this year, then they'll have a fighter's chance in those games. But, it's tough to see a path at this point.
Okay, the question is this too. Let's say Nebraska does not get to a bowl game, but let's say they go 4-8, or if they lose out, go 3-9, but they're all close games. What if, I know it's a terrible thing to put out there in the ether, but they have lost all 5 games by 1 score. They struggle in 1-score games. Let's say they keep doing that and they keep losing. They lose to Purdue by a field goal, lose to Ohio State by 7, Wisconsin by 3. I mean, what do you do if you're Trev Alberts? You're trying to assess this. You feel like they've made progress, but they just can't win close games. But they're not a bad football team. What do you do? How do you properly assess that in terms of viewing this football program and where they're going?
Well, I'd say this, and not all close losses are created equal.
Sure, that's true.
Like I said, you could lose to Michigan State. And the way it happened, it doesn't sit well, but you played well enough. And same thing with Oklahoma, and the same thing maybe even with Michigan. You'd like to have all those games back, or little pieces of all those games back. But those are not the same as losing to Illinois by 8 and losing to Minnesota by 7. And it's only 7 because they got a garbage time touchdown coming back the other way. So that's how I would assess it. You have 2 unacceptable losses this year, and you have 3 acceptable losses, I suppose. If you add a 3rd unacceptable loss to Purdue, it's a really gray conversation at that point. And I'm with you, Jake. Like there's you like a lot of what you see, but like that's a third of the season at that point. If you have a 3rd loss like that, and that's what it would take. Nebraska would just not show up against Purdue. If that happens for a 3rd time, it's way too inconsistent to say, okay, flat line, we've made progress. So there's a lot to play for in the last few games here. And, today, this loss and the Illinois loss are going to sting, I think. I would put it, this is a better team than Illinois, but I would put it in that category.
Carter, what's it going to – yeah, well, what's it going to feel like for the 10th consecutive week for it to be the most important game in Scott Frost's coaching career?
Man.
Yeah, it's a lot. Look, but they've had a chance to relieve some of this pressure. They just, this game was a big deal in getting to that point and earning trust back with people. And if you would have looked up in a couple weeks and saw them sitting at 5-4, and then you had those close losses to hang on, and the Illinois game is a long time ago at that point. Everybody's kind of forgotten about it. Now, you don't completely forget about it, but it's like that was an anomaly. We leave it out. It's not an anomaly anymore. Like they didn't show up again today. So, look, give credit to Minnesota. Like I said, they're better than Illinois was, but now we have to go straight back to that Illinois game and say, all right, maybe we can't forget about that because it can happen again. And it definitely takes a toll, DP, playing your most important game or playing games with these kind of stakes every single week. But they put themselves in that position. So that's on them.
Last thing, Happer, before I let you go. Assuming, let's say Purdue holds on to beat Iowa. They're up 14-7 at halftime. You just said a second ago that that's a game you can't lose. That's the easiest game left in your schedule. But are we sure that's a game that they can't lose if they beat Iowa today?
No, yeah, absolutely. It's a home game. That team. Look, and we know what Iowa does. They pretty much keep it close with everybody. I'd say even if they beat, if Purdue wins today, are they gonna be in the top 25? No, they're gonna have a tough. Nebraska should be held to that standard.
Sure.
So. No, I don't think Purdue. Would you say that Purdue is with the likes of Oklahoma, Michigan, and Michigan State? Because even if they win today, I sure as hell wouldn't.
Sure. No, I would not. But certainly, if they do beat Iowa, that would be an impressive win. They have not looked bad this year. They lost to Minnesota. They had a lot of yards in that game, couldn't win it. But, I mean, they're not – for everyone that says they're a bad football team, they're certainly not a bad football team. They're not the likes of a top 25 team, but they certainly can beat you if you do not play well.
But, Jake, like, they haven't won any – They've won one game in the Big Ten West this year, and like this is who you play every year. Like so, everybody's trying to get better.
Yep.
And if Purdue pulls off a win, it'd be nice for them. But that's a win that Nebraska. You know, we felt like they've been close to a lot, and they haven't gotten yet. So that's the standard that you're holding Nebraska to. You have to win more games in this division, in this league, and regardless of who's good or bad around, you have to win. And so I wouldn't like all of a sudden jump Purdue up a ring just because they beat Iowa.
I understand. All right, good stuff. He is Connor Happer. He is live in Minneapolis, was there for the loss today. The Huskers, again, 30-23 losers at Minnesota. Happer, thank you for the time. Safe travels. We'll see you on Monday.
Yep, see ya.
All right, good stuff. Connor Happer from Happer and Schaefer, also our program director here on the ticket. Made the trip out to Minnesota today, saw the disappointing loss in person.
I have a question for you
got?
because we didn't get to ask Connor. Are fans asking for anything of this team that they're not capable of doing?
I don't think so.
Right?
Listen, they're saying 6-6. Think about that historically for Nebraska fans to ask, we want to make a bowl game. Just make a bowl game.
Are we asking for Adrian to be better than he is? Are we asking for the pipeline to be better than they are? Are we asking for receivers to make plays that they're not capable? Like, what are we asking for?
We're asking them to find ways to win football games. Stop finding incredible ways to lose. That's what we're asking for, DP.
That would be that gives me calm, because I was starting to get on my haunches a little bit. That man, maybe the expectation is too much. Like maybe
no, it's not.
It really isn't.
No, it
ain't.
Like
it really isn't. Like we thought.
Are we acting like Vanderbilt here or what? What's your standards?
Well, that's what I wanted to know, because it started to sound like a losing program. Right? Be careful what you're telling me is okay, because it's being accepted and it's a little weird. Okay, so for folks who are in the room, hopefully they have in fact put their name in the box.
Yes,
hopefully.
If you are in the room and can hear us again, we're going to draw in about 3 minutes for 2 minutes for the autographed jersey. All 3 Husker Heisman winners on it: Mike Rozier, Johnny Rogers, Eric Crouch. It is absolutely free. All you have to do is put your name on the slip. We're going to draw here in just about a minute or two. So if you are sitting here and have not got your name in the box, it's time. It's free. There's no cost to you.
Oh, you see the last minute folks coming in. You see that? Like we should have pulled it before they got here. They got here.
I know.
That's going to be tough now.
Yeah, we got a couple minutes left, though. Again, just wrapping up final thoughts on Nebraska's disappointing loss to Minnesota 30-23. This is the Husker After Party postgame show combined with the ticket postgame show here at Tanner's Bar and Grill, 30th and Yankee Hill, sponsored by Action Plumbing, Heating and Air Conditioning, Vinny Kreekak of State Farm Insurance, Tanner's Bar and Grill, Southeast Community College, and N Street Drive-In. We never did try the Eggy sandwich. That's the special today.
And we never got the explanation of what the Eggy sandwich is.
Well,
so we should probably work on that.
We will.
We should work on that.
When we're here next Saturday,
maybe
we'll try the
we'll do a show.
Oh, sorry. Not next Saturday.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm sorry. In 2 Saturdays when we're here.
I was going to say.
When we're here for that.
All right.
Should I go get the box?
Yeah, let's get the box.
Do it. All right.
Let's get
draw.
the box. Like, I think for the case of what this is, you're going to have to shake it up and get it all in, right? And again, for whoever wins it, this may be the best jersey we've given out all season.
Well, let's be clear, too. There are some people that have signed up that have left, so we might have several names we draw that
that's
are not
okay.
here.
That's
but
okay.
That's what you get that's the reward you get for being here when the drawing happens. You and I have been here since probably midway through the first quarter of this football game. We left the pregame show. We came down here.
Right.
And people have been filling up their name in this box all day long.
Yep.
So I got it mixed up.
Shake it up.
It is shaking up.
Shake it up.
If your name's in the box for the free jersey,
shake it up. Shake it up.
DP's going to draw right now.
I'm going to throw it around a little bit. I'll throw it around, throw it around, throw it around, throw it around. All right.
You got it?
Let's see the first one. Brian Hopkins.
Oh, there he is.
Here's the funny thing about Brian's been here every single.
He has. He deserves this.
Like
Brian,
Brian,
my man.
Brian gets. Look, bro, you are. this is when you feel good about it because Brian has put his name in this box every week, and this is the first time you got a good one, bro. Yeah, we're gonna take a picture and post and share it. That is, you got of all the ones to get, you got the 3 Heisman Trophy winners. That's pretty exceptional.
Congratulations.
That's
Brian.
very cool, man.
Your patience has been rewarded with a great jersey there.
And he comes in and he never complains, right? And he's just like, "Oh, I got it for 9 straight weeks." Yes,
Next to you, my man.
Yes,
Next
man.
to you.
No, man, that's good stuff, right? You got a good one. That is a really good one. And I better not see it on eBay. I'm gonna
That's
be really
right.
mad.
No, he'll find you.
I'll be really mad at it.
A couple before we get out.
There we go.
Frame. Before we get out of here, a couple score updates again. Iowa trails 14-7 to Purdue. You pointed out, DP, we haven't even hit baseball. The Red Sox up 4-0 on Houston. Also, they have bases loaded. Top of the second to the Red Sox in Houston. 1 out there, up 4-0 is Boston.
Yeah, they gave him a grand slam in the first inning.
Yeah, they might end another one.
Grand slam in the first inning.
Georgia, good game, only up on Kentucky, 14-7. That's at halftime there in Athens. Baylor leads BYU 17-7, so upset the Brewing there in Waco. And also, hey, I don't know if you saw this, DP. Congrats to Northwestern, 21-7 winners over Rutgers.
Wow, Shiano.
I'm surprised. Yeah, Greg, Rutgers was looking pretty good the first 3 or 4 games. They pushed Michigan, and then all of a sudden Ohio State bashed them. Michigan State smoked them, and then Northwestern beats them by 14.
Yeah.
It has been fun. Nebraska getting losers today, 30-23. We are off until 2 weeks for the post-game show. For DP, I am Jake Sorensen. Thanks to Tanners for having us. We will see you on Monday. Have a great weekend.